We're very pleased to be here today conducting an interview with Mary Honeyball, a member of the European Parliament. So to begin, do you think that the experience of European integration can be a model for other experiences?
I certainly think it could be for integration in communities in other parts of the world. I mean, we're seeing that a bit in Asia with the Eurasian situation. And I think the EU very much has led the way. After the Second World War, it was a massive and very, very brave experiment, which has, I think, really been to the benefit of the whole of Europe. I mean, we are now working together and living together in a way that we never did before. And it's not only that we've had peace for the last 70-odd years, but also that we're developing together economically. So it's a real project of cooperation. And I think conferences like this actually show just how far we've come.
Right. Great, thank you. Currently, as you know, we're experiencing the rise of movements against immigration across Europe. In your opinion, what is the role of cultural diplomacy to defending the rights of all people in Europe, whether legally or illegally here?
Well, I don't think it's as simple as just defining it as legally and illegally. Clearly people shouldn't be in countries illegally, and so there's a whole lot of other questions about that. Though having said that, they are still individuals and they should be treated as people, and they have human rights in the same way as everybody else does. So while accepting that they may not be legal, they still should be treated as individuals and their rights respected. And very often people come to countries illegally to work, and they work in just about the most exploited way that they could. So there really are actually quite massive human rights implications in that.
As a woman in European Parliament and in general in politics, do you think that states could do something in a legal level to empower gender equality?
Well, there's a lot which can be done and which is being done. One of the things I've done a lot of work on over the last few years is actually quotas for women on company boards, which still hasn't actually gone through the EU. It's with the Council of Ministers at the moment. But that would actually be massive progress for women and actually allow women to have at least the opportunity to break through the glass ceiling. So I think that's a very recent thing that we're doing, which will have a big effect. And I do think that you need mandatory measures like that. Unfortunately, we still live in a society in Europe where it's not done on merit, and if you don't have quotas and if you don't have mandatory obligations, I don't think you actually get there. So we really do need that to make sure we get progress.
Considering that you are a member of European Parliament again, we're witnessing a huge rise of Euroscepticism again, especially in Britain. Can we hear some thoughts about that?
Well, it's true. It's always been there in the UK, but it is a lot worse now for a whole lot of reasons, I think. And we need to challenge it more, I think. Those of us who do actually believe in the EU and think that it's generally been doing a good job. I mean, obviously there are problems. I mean, no one is saying that the EU is absolutely perfect. No institution is absolutely perfect. But Britain's place and future is within the EU, and I do think that those of us who believe that really should be maybe saying it a bit more loudly. But what's very interesting at the moment in the UK, we have a general election in May, where we'll be electing our new government. And a lot of business leaders now are saying that the European Union is very important for business because it's exports and it really is what drives their businesses. And they're actually coming out and saying that with now that we have an election in view. So I think although there is that underlying Euroscepticism there in some places, I think there's also a very strong understanding in a lot of the opinion formers in Britain that our place is in Europe.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.